Jake, Amber, hey, congratulations on your new film, Outlaw Posse.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much.
So let's hear it from you folks first. Is what initially drew you to this project? Amber, why don't you start first?
For me, first and foremost, Mario Van Peebles. Just that name alone, he's a legend. And then a Western. I have always loved Westerns. I loved Posse. I was very young, or I don't even know if I was born when it came out. So it was something that I definitely grew up on. So those two things right there, Mario Van Peebles, a Western, count me in.
Most excellent. How about you for you, Jake?
Definitely the same. I mean, getting to meet and talk to Mario about this film and I've always wanted to do a Western. And something of this scope was just yeah, I was so excited to get involved. Really cool character, really cool story. So it was easy.
Jake, I'm going to start with on your preparations of playing Lefty. What kind of like training did you actually have to do in preparation to get into this character? And are you a lefty or southpaw?
I'm not a southpaw, so that was probably the hardest part, but it was a fun challenge. I think I test anyone to just try brushing your teeth with your non-dominant hand. It's very hard. So it's just learning to do all those things. With lucky, I had some time to kind of spend on that and focus on that, and it was kind of like a mix of that. And Amber and I talked about learning to ride horses better, getting more comfortable on those, and getting familiar around those weapons because they are so different than today's guns. They're, those six-shooter type things. So it was a lot of fun.
Amber, how about your preparation? Because your character Queenie does other things in this Western, is particularly knife throwing. I mean that must be a different set of skills than gunslinging itself.
Absolutely, absolutely. I had a ton of fun. I worked on a lot of things with our stunt coordinator, as far as throwing the knives and what makes it look believable, and my aim and all those things. So that definitely was a new skill set that I required.
So for the both of you, after all this preparation and being in this project, how is your aim? Jake, how straight do you shoot?
Well, with one of those guns, probably not very straight because they were also hip shooting, right? So it wasn't bringing it up here. It was just kind of an instinctual thing that I think would is one of those 10,000 hours things that I don't even have more than 10 hours on. So um, I don't think my shooting is great, but I got pretty good at spinning the gun and holstering it and flipping it around. So I made it look pretty, but it's all just for show.
Amber, was your knife throwing also for show? Was it rubber knives or real knives? And can you toss knives really?
So I was able to practice with a real knife, but during the filming, of course, they were fake knives. But just to get that weight of it, just to feel what it really feels like to use a real knife. So I think I got pretty good. My aim improved for sure.
Amber, tell us about the choreography, the dancing and singing parts of this film. Was that a challenge for you?
Wow, that was so much fun. I've always been into arts, singing, dancing, performing. So that was probably one of the most fun scenes. It was the last day and the last scene for me. But so I was very tired during that scene. But I had so much fun. I was nervous about the singing part because I don't do it quite often, on that type of stage. So um I had a blast.
in in the look of a Western look in costumes, it must be great to feel transported into that time period with the costumes. Jake, talk about your look. I feel like you're still in the Western wear right now.
I try to stay on theme, but it's amazing how it really lends to the character and the timepiece. You just get you see yourself in the mirror and you're like it's really a departure. So it's super fun, but I don't miss wearing leather chaps all day. We'll say that.
What was it uncomfortable for you?
It was yeah, it wasn't comfortable. I mean, it was nice to have some layers when it got cold out. But yeah, I prefer the modern day clothes.
Amber, I know women wear back in Westerns. It's probably much more uncomfortable. Tell us about transforming into a Queenie in her dresses there.
Yeah, so I love the costume. It was beautiful, all hand sewn by our wonderful wardrobe department. It does take so much longer to get dressed 100 plus years ago. So I appreciate the fact that I can just throw on one layer and I'm out. I'm out. So that was a little bit difficult. But other than that, the wardrobe was beautiful.
Especially riding horses. So, Jake, Amber, thank you very much for carrying this conversation about Outlaw Posse, and congratulations on being in a Western. That's an achievement itself. Thank you.
Thank you.